Welcome everyone to Soren Review. And today we're going to be doing top picks of the week. It's probably the most viewed series on the channel. And today, after a 1 week break due to Easter weekend, we head to Martinsville, where the Xfinity and Cup Series will tackle the tricky paperclip, as they call it. 0.526 miles. It is the shortest NASCAR track on the schedule. Not to mention that since 2006, if I'm not mistaken, the Xfinity Series has only raced here once, and that was last year. So this is going to be barely their second time racing since 2006. So I only have the stats from last year's race to go off of. However, I do think that I have a few names in mind. So let's go to the Xfinity Series first. Of course, we have to look at the winner, Harrison Burton. Now, he hasn't had a super great start to the season. He's been okay, but he hasn't been what we saw of him at the end of last season. However, I think this is a perfect place for Burton to get into the groove and start winning races. He led the most laps of any driver last year in this race, so I think he has a great shot. However, watch out for AJ Allmendinger. Now, even though he finished, I think it's 26th, if I'm not mistaken, Allmendinger led 68 laps, which was the second most of any other driver. If I'm not mistaken, he was collected in a wreck or had a problem or something. I can't remember. But Allmendinger is going to be a real threat. However, colleague racing normally doesn't do good in Martinsville. At least last year they didn't. Ross Chastain finished fifth, and Justin Haley was basically non-apparent for the whole race. So if anything, it's going to be AJ Allmendinger and Harrison Burton. They'll do watch out for Allgaier and Gragson. They did finish second and third. Jeb Burton, though, could always run well. I know I said colleague normally doesn't do well here, but he finished fourth, and he does good at Richmond as well. He likes these style of tracks where, the flatter, smaller tracks. So, you never know. Austin Cindric, of course, led 42 laps. He, of course, a top pick. He's always a top pick here. But those are definitely going to be some drivers to watch out for in the Xfinity Series. Let's go to the Cup Series, where I have more proof. And I have one organization for you, Team Penske. Now, they've won the last two races in the Cup Series. Joey Logano won Bristol Dirt, and Ryan Blaney stole Kyle Larson's win at Atlanta. Now, if we look at the two results from last year, they were second, third, and fourth in both races. Blaney second place in both of them. Brad Keselowski third in the first, fourth in the second. Logano fourth in the first, third in the second. That is unbelievable. How consistent they've been. However, you have to look at the two winners. Martin Truex Jr. is the first one. He won the race last year. He led 132 laps in the first race, ended up winning. And then the second race, he led 129 laps, finished 22nd due to a loose wheel, had to pit, gave up his track position, but he was on track for a great finish. Chase Elliott also won the second Martinsville race, led 236 laps. Now, he only led one lap last year in the spring Martinsville race, but finished fifth. So all five of those guys that I mentioned are going to be real threats. Not to mention, Brad Keselowski won this race in 2019 as well. So he's also a, one to watch out for. Joey Logano won this race in 2018 fall. So again, there's more proof that these guys are going to be real threats. Some other ones, Alex Bowman finished top 10. Matt DiBenedetto did too. So they're going to be real threats. Kurt Busch finished fifth in the second race and ninth as well. Kyle Busch always runs well here. Now, I know last year's Martinsville finishes weren't great, right? He finished 19th in the first one. And he finished ninth in the second. But I want to bring up something. For all you saying, oh, well, some of these guys didn't do good that well. Well, if they didn't do good in the second race, the first race, we have to remember how weird the first race was. If you remember watching that race, it was really weird because there were some guys that were absolutely slow. They were laps down, within the first stage. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones. If I'm not mistaken, even Brad Keselowski was at one point. So we have to watch out. I mean, Corey LaJoy was literally leading laps. He actually led laps in both of them, if I'm not mistaken, or came close to leading ones in the first one. But that's he stayed out both times. But those two, those examples that I just showed you in the first one, you look at the results. Oh, why didn't Denny Hamlin do good in the first one? He's normally pretty good. You have to remember why. There are some people that I don't think are going to run very well at all. Kevin Harvick. This is easily one of his worst statistical tracks. His best finish between the two, 15th. Now, of course, had he not spun out trying to take out Kyle Busch for the last playoff point, he probably would have finished 9th or 10th. But still, he was never contending for the win. There's some other drivers as well that I don't think are going to, run super great. And I think we have to also remember that even though it's a short track, we still have to remember that anything can happen, especially at Martinsville. Before we leave, I'm going to give you one name to watch out for. Well, two names actually. Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, well, everyone's been talking about these two drivers," and I think they deserve it. Bubba Wallace, this is going to be a great track for him to really show what 2311 Racing's. He's had some bad luck. Phoenix, bad pit call. Had a flat tire at Bristol Dirt. Two potential top tens wasted. Finished 11th. If you remember in the first race, so you never know. And Daniel Suarez, I know he doesn't. He statistically, this isn't a great track for him. However, I think that he'll run okay because these tracks, like a track at Martinsville, those are very similar to the tracks he's similar at when he was in the Mexico series. So you never know. Finished 27th in Gaunt Brothers equipment in both races. So you never know. Thank you so much for watching Soren Top Picks of the Week. Remember, Diecast Fridays. Why I bring that up? Because you can use code Soren72 when you order from Circle B Diecast and order $20 or more. You can save $5 on shipping. That's a lot of money. And if you're ordering a 124, $10. That's a lot. Plus, if you want to follow me on Twitter as well, @ReviewSoren. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and goodbye.